Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day is going great. Mine's been really awesome, and today I got another big juicy leak for you guys. As you know by reading the title, Houston Outlaws have signed a brand new main tank, and he is Korean. And before we get any further into this video, I just want to let you guys know I am live on Twitch streaming right now, talking about all these leaks that I've dropped over the past few days and pretty much anything about the Overwatch League in general. So come check it out, links in the description and comments. Alright, so the new Houston Outlaws Korean main tank. He goes by the name of Smurf, and he did compete on Houston Outlaws Academy roster GGEA during Season 1 and Season 2 of Contenders North America. He's a really good main tank, and he did in Season 1 help the Optic Academy team go all the way to the semifinals, but in Season 2 it was a little bit different for them. They unfortunately didn't even make it in the top 8 and are now facing potential relegation out of Overwatch Contenders North America. So that team's pretty much falling apart, but fortunately for Smurf, he was really good and he's getting upgraded to the main Overwatch League team. So this means a lot. Not only is he joining the Overwatch League, but he's joining a team that is mostly Western and who has a really good main tank in Muma. So there's definitely a lot to talk about what this means for the Outlaws and Muma specifically, because also another bit of leaks that I have is that Houston Outlaws are out there shopping for a new DPS player. It seems like Arhan and Jake just aren't cutting it for them, and they do have a lot of targets in mind, and specifically for the team I'm about to talk about, the Houston Outlaws are definitely reaching out and trying to get one of these players, as well as many more over the league. So we're going to cover that, but now let's move on to that team, and that team is going to be NYXL. We are talking about Fl0w3r/Nanohana from XL2 Academy. He did also get moved up to the NYXL main Overwatch League roster. Now this comes at no shock. I was waiting to release this news, but Halo of Thoughts did beat me to the punch. He posted on Twitter saying that Nene and Fl0w3r are both being upgraded to the Overwatch League team. And I'm not going to say anything about Nene because I don't have full confirmation on him, but it's probably true. Fl0w3r is 100% being moved up though. So Aaron Brown did get that leak right. Everybody, round of applause for Aaron Brown, giving the juice for us boys. But anyways, Fl0w3r, yes, he is moving up to the main roster, which is very interesting. There are some things to talk about because now they have a ton of DPS players, especially if Nene's being moved up as well. That leaves them with Pine, Sabiolbi, Libero, and now Nene and Fl0w3r. That's 5, guys. That is an unreal amount of DPS players, similar to the San Francisco Shock from Season 1, who didn't play all their DPS players. Some of them never even touched the stage in IDDQD's case, and then for Baby Bay near the end of the season, once they got Architect and Sinatra, he hardly touched it as well. And even with Dante a little bit too. So, you know, with so many DPS players, a lot of them aren't going to play, and when they're all-star DPS players, all 5 of those guys can be a starter and a carry on any Overwatch League team. So you know some of them are going to be requesting trades. And obviously that's where the Houston Outlaws come in, who are shopping for a brand new DPS player. And let's be honest, all 5 of those DPS players that are on NYXL right now would be major upgrades to the Houston Outlaws. So we're going to talk all about that at the end of the video, guys. So if you guys are new here and this video sounds very exciting, you can't wait to hear more about Houston Outlaws and NYXL and their new acquisitions, be sure drop a like on the video, subscribe to my channel by clicking the red box and turning notifications on for daily videos. And now without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Alright, so as I said at the beginning of the video, guys, sources say that Smurf, Houston Outlaws Academy main tank, has been moved up to the main roster. And this is very big because in Season 1, the Houston Outlaws, they were mostly all North American Western team. Everybody spoke English. There was only 2 people in their entire organization that were Korean. From the start, it was Tyrunk, who is their head coach, but he's been getting very fluent in English as of late. And then during the trade window, they did pick up Arhan from Korea. So those are the 2 Korean people in their roster. Well, now moving into Season 2, they've already picked up a new main tank, and he is Korean. His name is Smurf. The reason why I think this is big news is because in the first season, the Houston Outlaws, they were like this really big, prideful Western team. They would always say, yeah, we want to beat the Koreans. We want to prove that you don't need Koreans. Westerns are good. North America, America specifically, because a lot of them are just straight up American. And you know, they did do pretty well, and they proved that Americans are good. They did get top 8, and they had their time in Stage 1 where they were one of the best teams in the league. Well, unfortunately for them, I think they did learn by the end of the season that, well, Koreans do make your team good, and if you have a few of them, you might even be better. And now Houston Outlaws, they have started by picking up Smurf, a Korean main tank, and this could be the first of many because, as I mentioned, NYXL now, they are moving up Fl0w3r and apparently Nene. Again, so Fl0w3r is 100% 100% confirmed. Nene, I don't know, I'd say maybe 80% that is likely to happen. And these would be huge pickups for the Houston Outlaws. And maybe if New York Excelsior want to keep Fl0w3r or they want to keep Nene, then Houston Outlaws, they would want to get Libero, who would be, oh my god, perfect on the Houston Outlaws. We would still have the problem where there's not like a seriously really good tracer, but I think Libero, he has shown he can flex on that tracer and do pretty good. But just in general, having that flexibility on the Houston Outlaws, it would be like a 3 times upgrade over Jake. But fine, you don't want to get Libero, then get Pine, who probably would want to be getting traded. There's a lot of players in the league right now who didn't get a lot of start time in the last season, guys, and they're looking to get traded. They're requesting to get traded, which we are going to be talking about in our next video, which by the way has a lot more juicy leaks. Stay tuned for that, boys. But I definitely could see Pine wanting to get traded, especially after Fl0w3r and Nene come up. They're going to be taking playtime away from him if they're staying on the New York Excelsior's roster. So like, it's interesting for New York Excelsior, but we're going to come back to them because it's even more interesting right now for the Houston Outlaws. And me, I'm trying to figure out what they want to do for season 2. Sure, they could just pick up Smurf and run him half the time and then run Muma half the time. But from season 1, I think we've all learned that it makes more sense to just run one main tank the entire time if he's really good. We saw New York Excelsior, they split way too much time between Janice and Manu. They never really knew who they wanted to play, and it definitely hurt them. We seen the London Spitfire, they were running a mixture of players, and eventually they were like, yeah, this isn't working, let's just run one roster, and that helped them reach all the way to the finals, and they won, of course. So I really do think like the best course of action is running one main player, and then having like a really strong player in the back who can just play scrims and help that guy practice and improve. And if need be, that player needs to take a break, he's getting a little burned out, then you could throw your substitute in for maybe 2-3 games in a row, and then he can come back, your starter, who is refreshed and ready to go. I think if we look back at season 1, that is definitely one of the biggest things teams can learn from. So now for the Houston Outlaws, it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to start running Smurf and look towards maybe a half Korean, half North American roster? Or are you going to continue to run Muma and Smurf just be a backup? Both of these options are very viable, and the fact that Real Leak Boy did tweet out that Muma was potentially being shot by for the Houston Outlaws, this could mean that Smurf could be the new starter and they want to go more Korean, and that they're looking to trade or get rid of Muma for another strong Korean DPS player. Now the good thing is, like, it doesn't have to be a straight up trade from the Houston Outlaws. They can just sell Muma to another Western team or somebody who wants a strong Western main tank, whether it's an expansion team or just somebody randomly like the San Francisco Shock. They could sell him for like 70 grand, just a random number there. I have no idea what the numbers would be, but say Muma gets sold to San Francisco for $70,000. Then Houston can go use that $70,000, send it to New York Excelsior and say, hey, we want Nene. There's a good and strong tracer player, and New York Excelsior, I don't know if they would do it for 70K or how much they would want. And then you could see the Houston Outlaws getting rid of Muma, and in return they end up getting Nene, even though it's not like straight up 1-for-1 player. It gets rid of like, oh, well, they can't trade Muma to New York because New York doesn't want a Western player. You just trade him to somebody else and get money, then you go to New York. It's like a weird loophole. And I'm not saying this is happening. This part of the video isn't like leaks. This is just all speculation. From what I've heard, the leaks are 100% confirmed that Smurf is moving up to the Houston Outlaws main roster, but the question is, like, it's a weird situation for the Houston Outlaws because they have Muma now, and now I'm just speculating, like, what are they going to do going into season 2? Are they going to run Muma? Are they going to run Smurf? Are they going to try to trade one? If they want to trade Smurf, there was kind of no reason to upgrade him to the Houston Outlaws main roster. They could have just traded him from the Academy roster because now he's probably under a full Overwatch League contract with them, and they're paying him more money than they did on the Academy team. So like, so many questions arise, and I just have no idea. I'm going to keep digging, guys. I'm going to find more information out about the Houston Outlaws and see what they want to do for season 2. So if you want to stay tuned for that, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll definitely eventually figure it out, and when I do, I will let you guys know what direction Houston Outlaws are heading into for season 2. Do they want to run both of the players? Do they want to get rid of Muma? Do they want to get rid of Smurf? We'll just have to see. And as for New York Excelsior, I will let you guys know once Nene is confirmed on the roster. I do probably believe it's going to happen. My sources just haven't told me. They did tell me that Fl0w3r/Nanohana 100% is on the main Overwatch League roster now. So aside from that, guys, again, be sure to subscribe if you want to stay updated on all this stuff. And now let's move on to the last part of the video where I do want to show you guys some of my Genji gameplay. Pretty much all you guys have seen so far is my Tracer, which I do personally believe my Tracer is better than my Genji, but my Genji is also pretty good as well, and I feel like I play it pretty smart, and I want to show you guys my movement and my decision making to help you guys improve on your Genji play and help you win more games. So let's go ahead and hop straight into that. Oh, and real quick before we hop into that, again, I am live on Twitch, so you can come to my channel, watch me play live, and ask me any questions about the Overwatch League. So go check it out, links down in the description and comments. Alright guys, so here it is, the Genji gameplay. It's on Gibraltar. I am carrying my team. Unfortunately, there will be no sound because I was listening to Eminem and it's copyrighted. So, we can't get demonetized. But let's hop into it. So, as you guys can see here, we're trying to push it. We have 2.5 minutes, sort of. I just used my blade, didn't get many kills, and I died. And now I'm thinking about, should I switch to Tracer? Should I stay on Genji? I see the McCree, I see the Reaper. I think this is a good pick into that. And I'm going to go out here and try to farm up a blade as soon as possible. I see these guys instantly. I'm like, all right, this is a good time to farm. They're playing in this small choke. I'm just going to throw my shurikens in there. Boom. Already at 21%. 30. So we're building up the blade really quickly there. You just want to poke. You want to hit your shurikens from here. Genji really is all about just getting your blade and carrying with your blade, guys. We're already pretty much at 50%. Still farming. Go for the reflect. Don't really get much out of that reflect, but you never know. Usually I like to wait for fire strikes. But again, I'm continuing to poke. I'm getting up there. We're already at 70%, so we're building this blade up really quick. My team did call there was a Reaper behind, so I turned around a little bit there. I call it they have a grav right now, so I'm really worried about that. I look for the reflector. I end up hitting a reflect on a flashbang, and I'm screaming right now, go, go, play aggressive. We got this. Going for the Ana. Boom. Blade's coming up here. Screaming for hills right now, literally on top of my lungs. Now I'm going to go for the blade. Boom. Lucio down. Going to go for the reflect there. She solo grabbed me. Reflect gets the kill, and my team cleans up here, and we end up pushing it in, guys. So, this clip basically shows it's all about building your blade up, guys. I got that blade in, like, what, 20, 30 seconds there? You guys can do the exact same thing. You just have to focus on hitting your shurikens. Now, going back again and looking at positioning a little bit, I am playing a little aggressive here. But the reason I'm doing this is because they do have some long-range damage, Ana and McCree, but they're not hitting many shots. And the big thing is I'm using LOS on the cart right here. So if I keep doing this, they can't really hit me, and I also got the beat. The big play, though, comes on this huge reflect. So I know she has grav. I'm looking for the grav reflect here. I thought she was going to shoot it right there after the Reinhardt shatter. She doesn't, and I just get huge reflect here. I get like 20% off of this. And then right here, I know they're low, and I'm calling for my team to play aggressive. I go for the finish on Ana here. Boom, dead. And now let's move on to the second clip. Alright, so the second clip now comes on defense here. I'm basically doing the same thing, trying to fire my blade, but I'm doing it in a really smart way that Gibraltar allows you to. So once the cart is under here, and you know what their comp is, I see their comp. They have no mobility. They're running a D.Va. That's pretty much the only thing that can chase me, and a D.Va's not going to be able to chase me in 1v1. So that means I have free reign to go behind them and just poke the hell out of them. So now these guys are all going to be worried about me. Look at this. I got 3 players, and Ana, McCree, and Brigitte just turning around, focused on me, and then a Reaper comes behind me there. So I get a little worried for there. I rotate to this spot now since the cart gets pushed up, and again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm throwing shurikens at them, making them worry about me. I do get low here, so I have to go ask for hills, but as you can see, the D.Va's flying up for me, the Reaper's going for me, Brigitte, McCree, they're all turning around. Here's where I go and ask for hills. Boom, he hits me, we're good. Same thing. I see the D.Va's up there. Nothing really to come for me, just poking. Now they all turn on me, drop the reflect. I don't get much on it, but they're all worried about me, and because of that, the Reaper goes in alone. He expects to have his teammates, but they're all turned around, and my team, they pick up the Reaper. Now I go back, I ask for hills, go for the health pack because I don't want to wait for her just in case she's busy, but my Widowmaker starts to pop off, and boom, here we go. Ana dies, not really much to talk about there, but my blade's pretty much almost built up here now. And I'm just going to continue to do the same thing. Also, I'm asking, whenever, guys, when you have a Torbjorn, don't get mad at them. Don't rage. Don't tell them to swap off. Just go up to them and spam X and ask for armor because it's the best thing you can do. I mean, 75 extra health, especially on a Genji, you can play hyper aggressive, which you guys will see me do here. We'll go ahead and skip a little bit. And yeah, so I go up here to scout. I do hear them coming up. So I tell my team they're all coming up top. They're all coming up top. This is a good time for me to get some reflex off to build up my blade. I'm pretty much there. And I do have this armor, so I'm going to play super aggressive and get the Brigitte's dash out. And then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to tell the Ana to nano me. Unfortunately, she's not ready in time, so I have to sit here and wait a couple seconds, which is what I'm doing now. But I know this is the perfect time because once they rotate into here, I can't get flashbanged. I can reflect it 100% unless he throws it at the ground. And most McCrees usually throw it in the air. And we'll go ahead and see that. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm going on my own. I'm just going to do it on myself. There's the reflect. Boom. The nano comes in huge. Boom. Kill the Brigitte. By the way, guys, tip here on the... What you want to do on Genji when you're blading, you want to slash, but then dash really fast so you get the double damage. Especially when you're nanoed, you can one-shot anybody who has 250 HP. So slash and dash. You guys see I did it super fast and I one-shot her. Boom, Anna's dead. Team wipe there, guys. So here's some of my Genji gameplay, you know, not something that's too spectacular, not amazing, but it is good positional wise and decision making wise. So you guys can use these types of tricks to your gameplay and it'll definitely help you win some games, especially at a level of like plat or lower. Let me know down below if you guys did enjoy the Genji. I know I usually do Tracer. I also have been playing a lot of Zarya, so I might do some Zarya clips later. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys want to see. Anyways, thank you for watching. Be sure click the red subscription box, like the video, and now I'm out of here, guys. Peace.